Alright, for this third segment for my application project, I wanted to show you how to download the software to create the quizzes and the project lists. If you go to Turning Point's website, which is www.turningtechnologies.com, you can actually download the software by clicking Downloads on their webpage and then scanning down on the webpage to Turning Point. If you click on this, you can actually download it as a PC version or a Mac version. Once you download the software, you're going to get on your desktop an icon that looks like this. This is the Turning Point software. When you double click it, the software is going to open up and it's going to look like this. There are three tabs to the software, three areas. One is polling, which is where you'll go to actually quiz your students or to do surveys or anonymous polls. The content tab is where you'll go to actually create questions or quizzes, and then the manage tab is where you go to actually create participant lists. I want to show you first how to create a participant list. This is if you're going to use the software to do assessments, you actually want to assign specific clickers to specific students. So you want to actually create what's called a participant list. So you can go here to participant list. On this drop-down menu, you're either going to want to create a new one or potentially import an old one. I'm going to go ahead and open one that I've already created. So earlier I went and clicked New and created one labeled Application Project List. I'm going to go ahead and edit the one that I created. I'm going to go to Edit Participants. And it looks very much like a spreadsheet. What you do then to create a participant list is, if you remember, on the back of each clicker there's an ID, a device ID. What I did then is I typed out the device ID numbers, and then I typed in the name of the student who I wanted to assign to that particular clicker. So you can see that I've done that with three virtual students here. One, Jane Virtue, is assigned the clicker with ID number E2E1C. You can see John Doe is assigned clicker CF459. Once you've done that, you might have 30 students, 20 students, whatever. Go ahead and save and close, and that'll save that participant list. What if you want to create a quiz? To create a quiz, you're going to go to Content. You can see here in my Content folder, I've actually created a couple of quizzes. I've already started to create some quizzes. I created one for the Chapter 16 segment of my course on fingerprints, one for the Chapter 17 segment of firearms, one for bloodstained patterns. So I've already begun to try to apply this to my classes for this upcoming fall. For this project, I created a quiz called Application Project Quiz. If you wanted to create a new one, you'd simply go to the Content tab and then click New, and then you can create a question list. I'm going to go ahead and open up the question list that I've already begun working on, and it's the Application Project Quiz. That was actually the quiz that I demonstrated in segment 2 of this project. I want to go ahead and edit this question list, so I'm going to go ahead and hit Edit down here on the right. The questions are then going to load up. You can see that this particular quiz has 5 questions. I can add a new question if I want. If I go to Question, I can add a question. When I add a question, it's going to ask me do I want a multiple choice question, a short answer question, a true-false question. So let's say I want to make a true-false question. I'm going to change this to true-false. And then I'm going to go ahead and click this little icon here. It's going to allow me to edit the question. So let's type in a true-false question. Let's see. The barrel of a gun is always a ½ inch in diameter, which is not true. That's false. So what we need to do then is we need to indicate that the correct answer to that is false. I'm going to give it a point value. And then I can have things that I can add in. I can add a response or a countdown timer, for example. I can do a correct answer indicator, which would then show the correct answers. And then once I'm done with this question, I go ahead and hit close. The great thing about questions, if I want to, if you saw in this video segment 2, I can add pictures in there. So questions that refer to pictures, which we can see here in question number 3. So this is where I would go then to create quiz questions or quizzes. Once I'm done with this particular quiz, I would then hit Save and Close, and it would save that particular quiz. When I'm ready to actually give the quiz, I would then go to the Polling tab. Once I'm on the Polling tab, the first thing I want to do is I want to pick which participant list or which participants are going to take this quiz. I'd click this, and then I would click which quiz specifically I want to give. So I want to give them this quiz. Once I've clicked these two, I'm then going to double click on this PowerPoint polling, and then it'll then open up the quiz in the PowerPoint presentation that we saw in video segment 2. So that's the software. You can get more into it, experiment with it if you'd like, but that's the software and the clickers that I use for my presentation. I hope that you found it very useful and interesting.